If you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
This week on the Compliance Tip of the Day, we're going to data mine the recently released John Deere FCPA enforcement action for some compliance tips. Today will be lessons on gifts, travel, and entertainment from the John Deere FCPA enforcement action. The main thing you need to remember is really just a couple of things. Number one, never pay for a customer's trip to a massage parlor. And if you see a reimbursement for a massage parlor, well, you need to immediately investigate it, as that's a huge red flag. Two, you should review the opinion releases 0701 and 0702. These opinion releases give still the best information some 17 years later from the Department of Justice on how to set up your policies and procedures around gift, travel, and entertainment. They lay it out specifically, literally line by line and number by number, and you can incorporate those directly into your compliance program. If you see red flags, you need to do immediately investigation, because if you find something that is askance, you need to immediately stop it, or it will continue and you'll continue to get deeper and deeper into trouble. We also need to talk about when compliance is lied to or falsification of records. Remember, if something doesn't make sense, it's a good chance it's because it's not true or it's not correct. So if you find that things around gift, travel, and entertainment just don't seem to make sense, like spouses or WAGs or significant others are part of reimbursement, or there seems to be lingering in geographic areas where you don't have plants or other physical facilities, or there's lots of side trips, you need to do some additional investigation and make sure you're getting the straight story. As I said in the opening of this podcast, this month's sponsor of the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico, and they've developed a toolkit for middle managers that will help middle managers in intaking information from employees, and equally importantly, understanding how to respond and how to get the information up to compliance for the decision makers. We've linked to this toolkit in our show notes, so check it out at ethico.com. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.